vacations.com is the place to go if you want to check out some of the really neat, fun things to do, especially when it comes to travel. And sometimes, people don't realize traveling is sometimes one of the things that you could do for fun, but also do so safely. And a lot of cruise lines, of course, kind of got hit early on with COVID. So since then, there's been a lot of situations when it comes to COVID as to how they do what they need to do in order to stay alive and, of course, stay safe. So they're going to be talking about some of the things that come along with cruising, and if you have COVID, what to do about it. Also, how do they help keep others protected? Because we know the world of cruising is something that people are doing, but World Travel Holdings actually does a lot more about keeping people safe on the travel excursion situation. So, according to this, the safest state, if the average cruise ship were a U.S. state, it would be the safest in the country by far. Now, that's according to the American Society of Travel Advisors. More than 5 million Americans have sailed since June of 2021. 80% of travelers who have cruised before say they will cruise again, the same as before the pandemic. I will say this, cruises are fun. I've only taken one cruise ever. But I know at the beginning of this, I was like, why would you take a cruise? Because you need to stay safe in as many ways as you can. Uh, the industry, though, has taken a huge hit. So I know within the next few years, there will be some really good deals along the way. And at some point, it's just fun to take a family member or a few of you that actually enjoy getting away, and of course having fun along the way, like food and I don't know how else to explain it. We went on a cruise a while back, and it was a cruise for salsa dancing, and I posted about it as well. And it was just fun. It was fun. It was relaxing. It just went from here, honestly, to Ensenada, Mexico, and back. And it was the fun part of being on the ocean that I think was the relaxing part of it all. And if I could do so in a safe way without getting exposed to other people that are sick, then I would do it and have the ocean air in my lungs, right? But I will say, we had seen some that were not prepared. They all got kind of put at bay, and then they were running out of supplies. That is not a good idea. I want to be on a ship that has plenty of supplies, and if I had to be on a lockdown situation, I'd be fine for at least good 18 days, right? But vaccinations and the way people get sick and the way people travel, these are the things that have to take into consideration. And so we'll be talking to them a little bit later at the half-hour mark here at ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. We got Jesse Sanchez over there. Good morning, Jesse.
Good morning.
Lots of things going on in the world, and one of which I have to say is no fun to speak about. He was the voice of so many fun characters that it's a sad day in the world of comedy, man. I know you had a hard time when you heard this. What's up with what's going on with that?
Yeah, I so I was at my fiance's mom's house, and I like to look at Facebook once in a while, so I opened Facebook, instantly put Facebook down. When the top headline is Gilbert Gottfried passed away, I'm just like, I he's way too young, right? At least in my eyes anyway.
He
60.
is.
And it was just like I didn't even want to look more into it because I was like, he's been in so many things throughout my childhood. I don't know. It's kind of just sad to see that he's gone now.
Yeah, no, I agree 100% with you. It's one of those things where, and I know the children know him, right? He's most commonly known for Affleck, right? But he's also known for obviously Iago, right? For Aladdin and other characters that I'm looking at right here, right now, on the things that he did. He did a lot of voice acting, right? He's a funny comedian as well. And I know this hit the airwaves, and I know it kind of shocked a lot of people, including us. And evidently, he had been dealing with something for a while. Uh, it is a kind of muscular dystrophy. It's referred to as type 2 myotonic dystrophy. This is what his longtime friend and publicist said, Glenn Schwartz. Now, I hate to say this, but he died at an age that it seems like a lot of people are dying. 67, right? His good comedian friend Bob Saget also, died around that age as well. So it's like, what's happening to our comedy world, right? Betty White first, now like a host of other comedians. It's like, what's going on there? As far as to the type of dystrophy, they say they have no cure for it or treatment. And usually it appears in people, according to scientists, around 18 to 20. Now, his family said in a statement that he died after a long illness. Elizabeth McNally, the director of the Northwestern University Center for Genetic Medicine, says the slowly progressive condition is often overlooked and undiagnosed. People can have symptoms for quite a while even before they notice it. Symptoms of the disease, such as breathing or heart muscle weakness, tend to develop more as people age, she said, so some patients may not be diagnosed until their 40s, 50s, 60s, or they may confuse their symptoms with other age-related health problems. McNally said the things I always notice first in patients is that they have trouble getting up out of chairs and difficulty going upstairs. Now, I will say this. Now, I've seen pictures of him having a problem with this, but I never thought anything about it. You know what I mean? Like you see, you just think he's very like, I don't want to use the word like small framed, right? But evidently it was more than that, right? And it reminds me, because I remember I have a friend that reminds me of him, and I never really considered that this could be a thing, because it's one of those things you just say, huh? Like you have to almost be aware of it. It's first of all, it's a rare disease, right? And I had a friend. The only thing that I know I can actually say is I had a friend that actually had muscular dystrophy 100%. But this is a portion of muscular dystrophy, so it's not exactly the same. And he died, but his family took care of him. So this one, if you have, it's hard when they don't have a cure for something, Jesse? And you have to deal with it. But I think at the end of the day, he did everything he could along the way that I think it speaks to the spirit of himself and who he is as a person, and how he made people laugh, and how he made people feel, and how he made people like want to be better long term. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people talking about that part of him, all the good memories of him, right? Because anyone he was ever around, he kind of made them smile. If you look at the pictures with other people with him, they're all smiling, right? So that's a good thing. According to this, though, symptoms do include slurred speech, jaw locking, and prolonged muscle contractions that make it difficult to release a doorknob, for instance. In time, according to McNally, they said some patients may have difficulty taking care of themselves, including brushing their teeth or taking showers. McNally said heart complications are common for the two types of myotonic dystrophy. She said the increased risk for irregular heart rhythms can really be quite significant. Sometimes people underestimate how much that can happen. There's some stuff in textbooks that suggests it doesn't happen very much in type 2, but in her experience, she said, I see it a lot in my type 2 patients. Godfrey died of recurrent ventricular tachycardia, an abnormal rhythm in the lower chambers of his heart. McNally said that the condition, instead of being normally and consistently, the heart just sort of starts going electrically haywire. It goes very fast and can be basically out of control. If it doesn't correct itself quickly, within a matter of seconds, what can happen is the person can die. In some scenarios, she said, doctors can treat patients with pacemakers or defibrillators. She said, typically, a good cardiologist should anticipate ventricular tachycardia. The patient should have a defibrillator to treat that should it happen, so the person should not die. About 1 in 8,000 people are diagnosed with either type of the disease, although type 2 is believed to be rare. So, yeah, I don't know what to say about this, Jesse. It was a sad day yesterday when I saw this. I didn't want to see it. It's just one of those things you don't want to see,
Yeah, I'm just gonna pretend that he's going on vacation and I did not read what I read. Yeah, that's what I'm going to believe.
Mm, I like that. I appreciate that. Yeah. Um, I think my first exposure to him was Aladdin, right? I just remember the parrot, and I remember thinking, you know what? He is a fun guy, you know, because he nobody else could sell that parrot like Gottfried, right? Nobody could.
You're right. He was the voice of Iago, but I remember another movie that I remember seeing him in first, I believe. Do you remember the movie Problem Child? If you've ever seen it,
Yeah, I remember Prom Child.
yes, he was in that movie. So that's where I remember him from.
Yeah, yeah, where he plays the adoption agency employee, right?
Yes, yes, yes. He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Get rid of this kid."
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, he just had that fun, like, I don't know where he got that from. I want to see like a interview with him where it's like, who did you start talking like that? Either got on your nerves or like you wanted to pretend to be, and then you just kind of got to be that guy. You know what I mean? So it's like, who is that person that just got in your head, or the person that you just said, you know what, that guy's gonna get on everybody's nerves. I'm gonna be that guy. You know. But again, he made it fun. Of course, he'll always be the voice of Affleck. We hear that all the time, and that's the first thing I think of when I see the duck. I don't see the duck. I see him, you know, because he just Affleck, you know, like Affleck, you know, so many different versions of that. But you know, yeah, he appeared in voice roles in series like Family Guy, and as a contestant or talking head on a reality series including Celebrity Wife Swap. He actually swapped wives with Alan Thicke. Who knew that? So, like, he had fun there. In his stand-up comedy, his style was, you know, it was adult. It's what comedians do. He broached sensitive topics, recalling, let's see, in about certain things that would be kind of considered like, whoa, too soon, right? Uh, yeah, but he had a lot of fun along the way. Um, so I say, you know, for those that knew him best, I will say, like Jason Alexander said, Gilbert Gottfried made me laugh at times when laughter did not come easily. What a gift. Dane Cook said Gilbert Gottfried was never not funny. He was a lovely guy, always friendly, and made many people happy. Yeah, you see, he rolled with the best. This is interesting. Let's see. Writer and director Judd Apatow said nobody was funnier than, and you can at Real Gilbert. Evidently, he was on Twitter. He could put you into convulsive hysterics. He was also the sweetest man. His podcast is a comedy treasure. What a terrible loss. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know he had a podcast, but evidently he had the ability to kind of have people feel good about themselves. And a lot of people are going to recall that, and they're going to say that about uh, Gilbert, and they're going to say, you know what? At the end of the day, you may know the character, but we know the man, and we know the type of man he was, and he was just a man wanting to make people laugh and trying to get people to do the right thing and say, hey, you know what? Let's have fun at the end of the day. So I know those that, of course, are going to miss him are going to say, hey, we love you, Gilbert. All right, people, we're going to take a quick little break. We'll be right back right after these messages.
Are you paying rent because you think you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you renting because you don't believe that you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? The Siegel lending team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel lending team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com, license under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
New teen driver in the family? Just bought your first home? Have a new bundle of joy? Every life change matters, and by reviewing your insurance policy with Little & Sons Insurance Services, you could be benefiting with big savings. Little & Sons Insurance Services, a family-owned insurance agency who values the old-fashioned way of doing business. They work for you, not an insurance company, meaning your best interests are at heart. They can custom tailor your policy based on specific needs at a price you can afford. Home, auto, or business, you're covered. Call 1-844-9-LITTLE. That's 1-844-9-LITTLE, or go online to little, the letter N, sons.com. That's littlensons.com.
Hi, everyone. This is Bernadette, the host of One Life Radio, your number one source for alternative and holistic health since 2011. One Life Radio is designed to educate and inspire. Visit us at oneliferadio.com because you get one body, you get one mind, and you get one life. Get out there today and make the most of it. Tune in weekdays at 1 p.m. on 1490 KMET Smart Talk, ABC News Radio.
Take KMET 1490 AM with you everywhere you go by downloading our free smartphone apps found on the KMET website, KMET1490am.com. You can also go to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store on your phone to download the free app. Now you can listen live or play any of your favorite programmers' podcasts using your smartphone. Go to KMET1490am.com and download your free phone app today.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. Looking at your comments over there. Let's see. We got Stephanie Reed saying hello. Happy editing. This glorious, sunny, busy, awesome day ahead for today. Let's see. Salome Funnel is tuning in. Thank you. Also, if you're tuning in on LinkedIn, let us know. We would love to say hello. We know we missed a few of the comments as of a few days ago, so we want to say hello to those of you tuning in there. Also on Twitter, we always retweet your tweets, so feel free to tweet out some fun. Maria is tuning in from Canada. She had tweeted out, she said recently that she was like missing us and not being able to see us. I'm like, take us with you wherever you go. Let's have fun with you. Good nurse in Canada sometimes helps the States here in the U.S. as well, has a family and takes care of them as well. And of course loves VR, and I still got to get back onto that 100%. So there's that. She says, good morning, everyone. So grateful to be here today. Hope everyone is well and safe. Missed this so much. Again, joining us. So we appreciate having you back. Arena Karpova tuning in over there. And Anna Carbajal as well. And yeah, Maria does say, I was sad to hear he passed away. We're talking about Gilbert Gottfried, the actor, funny guy and comedian. She says, I loved him and his work so much. Yeah, we could see why. All right, lots of info in the world, and things are happening left, right, and center. Jesse, what's going on over there?
Oh, I'm trying to get more information about this assembly bill that I was looking at. I don't know if you've heard about it, Assembly Bill 2932.
Ooh, I will say I have no idea.
It is the proposal that would shorten the California work week to 32 hours instead of 40 for companies or for businesses that have over 500 employees.
Okay.
So I'm thinking to myself, oh, it sounds cool, but it's actually, I think it's pretty good for the warehouse workers, the ones that they work to death.
Right.
So that's just my opinion, but I don't know.
Right.
I'm still trying to look for the negative for it, but I don't know. I don't know much about how businesses work and how all that stuff. So I'm just doing it from the eyes of the people that are actually working, and the ones that they deem as slaves. I mean, minimal workers. My bad.
They do get paid, Jesse. They do get paid.
Yeah, paid barely to live.
Well, look, I don't think it's going to pass. I hate to be that guy, but it's one of those where you go, okay, who set up the bill? Why did they set up the bill? And then what is the purpose of it? Now, if they can kind of get people to say, all right, we could do a lot with just 32 hours, then it'll pass. But at the end of the day, it's kind of in the head of a lot of people that 40 hours is necessary, right? It's kind of in everything that you ever see. That's called or considered full time. Then you have overtime, right? So I think the question is, what will happen if you work over 32 hours? Will it be overtime? And that will be kind of the thing that will squash it. People will say, well, wait a minute. I got another additional 8 hours out of you, not paying overtime, right? Because that could be a little bit much. So I think it's a fun thing to speak about. It's a fun thing to talk about. And I will say, I've talked to some workers, which they like to be very productive. They've been able to kind of fit in like anywhere from 30 to 31 to 34 hours, all their work of a 40-hour week, right? Because some of it is just spent like speaking to others, having fun, going on social media, you know what I mean? Like non-productive tasks. So if you gave an incentive, I know one company that gave an incentive that if they got all their work done, by the end of the week, they would say, hey, if you want to, you could take the Friday off. You know what I mean? But there's some companies that just kind of always need to be proactive and be attentive and be customer service and be around the clock. So I don't know. I don't see that happening long term. I know California is considered a lazy state by some respects, but New York would be like, no, I don't think so. You never thought that, Jesse? You know California is considered lazy, right?
I did not. I don't know any lazy workers here. I know workers that work 40+ hours just trying to make it in.
That's you, Jesse. That's you. But
I know. But I'm just the other people that work at, like, say, distribution centers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Even then, though, there are a lot of people that just kind of slack off, right? They're
well, because if you're a worker there, you're not going to get promoted.
Yeah. Again.
And you're
well, let's put it this way. Like a worker, okay, fine. Let's say you want a shipment from Amazon. Do you want the workers to be on it or do you want them not to be on it?
Of course they're going to be on it if you're working. But I'm talking about, like, I don't know their specific working conditions. I don't know how long it takes them to go to a break. I don't know how many breaks they get. All I hear are horror stories coming out of Amazon and a bunch of other distribution working centers over here.
Well, see, and I hate to say this, but because I used to place worker staff at warehouses. I know worker staff actually were 100% happy with their jobs. Now, I will say there's always the ability to quit. You can always quit your job and get a better job around the corner, and manufacturing warehousing situations are exactly like that. They're very, very like, let's put it this way. I wouldn't want to be a warehouse worker, but those that want to be warehouse workers usually are all right with it, but everybody has a complaint. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, are they making enough? I will say maybe the minimum needs to be raised. I will say that. But at the end of the day, if you're getting, and I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying because there's been some news about that with Amazon and taking their breaks. But a lot of them are union workers, right? So that's why unions exist. But I'm pretty sure as somebody who gets something from Amazon, you're not going to want the cost of it higher than it is. Amazon got big for a reason. They simplified the process, but you need people, including robots, to work together to be able to fix things, right? Manufacturing facilities, also the same thing. So I'm not against a shorter work week. I'm not. Get the productivity done, and then you'll be fine. But what I see happening is human behavior. You put a shorter work week, then you'll get like underperformed. Does that make sense? I think you need to incentivize people to say, hey, we could give you the Friday off if you get everything done ahead of time. If you could prove everything's done ahead of time, then you could get the Friday off, right? But then some people don't want the Friday off because they need the pay. So I think in a way it doesn't do anybody any good, especially when you want to pay down debt. Unless you want to be like, okay, I want to do the 32 and then I want to get overtime, but you got to prove to the employer, I mean, I wouldn't be that employer, I'm sorry, I'm that person, that if you're going to get paid more, you're very productive to help the bottom line. If you can increase the bottom line of a company, then I say, yay. If you don't increase the bottom line and you're actually taking more time out of your work week to kind of just goof off and be like a lazy employee, I say, hey, we got more people we can hire. I'm that person, and I hate to say that, but and it's just that. Now, do I feel people should be paid for it? Oh, yeah, absolutely, 100%. But again, a lot of people complain, but they're still at the job that they're at because they need to work. So That's kind of my theory on it. It probably won't be a popular opinion, but I don't think it's going to pass. I think it's a fun thing to talk about, and how can we make more productivity with less time? That's what needs to be discussed, and I think that can be done 100%. But I'll give you an example. The station here works 24/7, so there is no way we could offer less than a certain amount of time. But there you go.
But
all right,
that's only for companies over 500 employees, so that would not affect us here.
yeah,
So,
true,
okay.
true, exactly, yeah. But I still don't think it's going to pass. I would love to give hope that it will. It won't. I mean, look at Europe. Europe has some stuff that you can have like 3 weeks off, or as much as 3 months off, right? That's an incentive though. But again, if you need pay, you're like, give me my pay because I'm out late. But if you're salary, you could do it all really quick. I've always had this discussion with people. They don't understand it, but I'm like, if you're salary, you're guaranteed, get all your work done and then some, and then ask for time off. But if you're hourly, you need the hourly pay. So people that are on hourly, they understand. All right, we need to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more about travel and cruising right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Get up to the minute forecast and temperatures for Beaumont, Banning, Redlands, Palm Springs, your national or international cities on KMET's website, KMET1490am.com. The station now features AccuWeather. AccuWeather offers weekend and extended forecasts along with the latest radar map and current conditions. AccuWeather on KMET1490am.com. Log in every morning for your daily forecast.
Healing does not mean that a cure will occur, but that the heart will come to rest. Apollo Hospice Care is here to ensure a comfortable end-of-life experience by providing safe and reliable hospice care services with dignity, compassion, and respect to our patients when disease is beyond a cure. Services are available to patients of any age, religion, and race at Apollo Hospice Care, servicing For additional details, feel free to call Apollo Hospice Care at 818-925-0345. That's 818-925-0345.
Your pharmacy and mobility solutions is now Beaumont Pharmacy with a new location at the Sundance Corporate Center. That's at the corner of Highland Springs and 8th in Suite 110. Of course, they still have Pack Your Meds. No more counting out the pills, dropping them on the floor. Oh, what a mess. And they have a full selection of pharmaceutical CBD. Wheelchairs, over-the-counter meds, you name it, they've got it. So if you're looking for the best and you want the best pharmacy, you go to Beaumont Pharmacy at their new location, 835 North Highland Springs, Beaumont Avenue in Beaumont, California, Suite 110. Give them a call, 951-845-8252.
Tired of waiting in line for overpriced coffees and packaged rolls? Make a change and stop for coffee or espresso and a fresh homemade apple fritter or ham and cheese croissant at Donut Delight on Highland Springs Road in Banning, just off the I-10 freeway. Donut Delight is a family-owned business with a friendly staff who has served the past area for 22 years. Donut Delight on the corner of Highland Springs Road and Ramsey Street, just off the I-10 freeway. Donut Delight opens daily at 4:30 a.m.
The Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Banning is distinctively suited for your travel time out of the car. Off the road, you'll find a courteous, welcoming staff in spacious rooms with desks, flat-screen HD TVs, and comfortable furnishings. Enjoy the complimentary breakfast buffet, high-speed internet, and fitness center and pool. The Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Banning, conveniently located off the I-10 near golf, gaming, and entertainment. For reservations and information, call 951-572-5500. That's 951-572-5500, or go online at HIEBanning.com.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. What is the forecast for the future when it comes to cruising? There's a lot of myths and misconceptions about cruising, especially with COVID having been the big news of 2020. Now we're in 2022. A lot of things are still happening, but of course, trying to keep it safe and through it all, of course, alive and well, the travel industry. We've got Brad Tolkien, who's the co-CEO chairman of World Travel Holdings. Good morning. Welcome to the show, Brad.
Good morning, Aaron and Brett. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for, of course, being with us. You know, Brad, obviously a lot of things are happening around the world. Cruising is one of them. How can we stay safe through it all?
Well, the cruise lines have done a magnificent job in implementing health and safety protocols that represent, the strongest actions taken by any industry, really, to address COVID-19. And some specifics around that is 100% of the staff have to be vaccinated. most of the customers, but not all, have to be vaccinated. 100% right now have to be tested before they board the ship. And if you do test positive, you don't lose the value of your holiday. You get a full credit. And so this is a very tightly controlled environment. It is a mask-free environment, and it's a wonderful, wonderful experience. And so the CDC, the Center of Disease Control, they've recognized this, and they have officially removed any travel warning from taking a cruise. And lastly on this point, if you depart on a cruise from the United States, and we sail from as far north as Seattle in the west to as far north from Boston on the East Coast, if you depart on any of the ships, you don't have to be tested in returning to the United States.
Got it. Okay. So, all right. And I know this is a thing that, again, we've had to kind of like, and I told, Jesse this on the show here. We were talking about certain things that you just have to kind of be aware of, kind of like traveling in the air, right? You have to go through the obvious, like, okay, metal detectors and, TSA and all the things that you don't want to have to go through. So this is the protocol now moving forward, yeah?
Well, I'm not going to say testing and vaccination is a permanent thing. No one knows this. But right now, for the time being, yes, this is what people have to go through to get on board a ship. Again, 100% don't have to be vaccinated, so we're not eliminating, that population that has chosen not to be vaccinated, but they do have to be tested, and most are vaccinated.
Got it. Okay, I'm a little confused. I thought you said everybody has to be 100% vaccinated, or that's just the employees?
No, 100% of the staff have to be vaccinated. No exceptions there.
Got it. Okay. I got that. Because then I was going to ask the question, which vaccination? Because you would want last year's spring edition of 2021, because that's out of the body, right?
So right now, the cruise lines are not requiring a booster. There might be certain small boutique, very luxury-oriented cruise lines that are requiring a booster, but for the most part, they are not requiring a booster at this moment in time.
Got it. All right. I think somebody needs to be updated about that. The vaccines are only good for anywhere from 5 to 6 months. So if you've been over the 5 to 6 months, basically you don't have a vaccine in your body. In other words, I could say, yeah, I got a vaccination back in spring of 2021, but if I don't have a recent one, it's unaffected. Plus, that was only for the strain of 2021, not for like the Om strain. Does that make sense?
It makes sense what you're saying. I'm not a health professional, so I really can't comment on it. I do know with the staff, they keep up on a protocol to make sure that they are recently vaccinated.
Got it. Okay. Well, look, I'm glad that they're at...
For 100... Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm glad that they're taking precaution because I know we had seen the news and we were reporting on the news when unfortunately cruise ships were told, hey, you cannot dock. And I thought that was wrong. I thought that they needed to get people off the ship and into a safe place rather than, oh, you're going to stay on the ship. What's the protocol for that if that were to happen again?
So that has been that has been completely eliminated. The cruise lines won't call on any port that won't allow people to disembark. But let me say two things real quick about that. One is that took place back in late January to March of 2020 when the world knew nothing about this virus, this COVID-19. Yeah. Even our own Dr. Fauci was saying we will not require masks back in January of 2020 in the United States. So the world froze, and the cruise lines actually did a magnificent job of limiting the severe repercussions of catching COVID by forcing everyone to stay in their cabin. Very, very few casualties took place on a cruise ship. So there is no fear of that today. And very few people, because of the health and safety protocols put in place, get COVID on a ship today.
Yeah. Well, look, I appreciate all that you guys are doing over there at worldtravelholdings.com. Those that want more information, you've done the work there. You get the information out. And I can't wait to get on a cruise.
Yep. Please have your audience call Dream Vacations or Cruises.com. They have the most experienced travel counselors in cruising.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. We hope to have you back, Brad.
Thank you, Aaron and Brett. Thank you.
All right. We got lots more coming. I know our social media chat room is thinking about traveling. Maria says we had a few cruise ships dock in Canada already this month, according to our news stations. Yeah, so people are traveling and they're doing so safely. I will say this though. Whenever you're in a environment where you have to breathe in other people's stuff, that's an environment I would rather be on the outside of a ship. I would not want to be on the inside of a ship, all right? So if you are trapped with like 3 or 4 people that have coronavirus, especially one of the latest strains, and nobody has the vaccine, including yourself, then that would be a problem that I wouldn't want to be facing. So I'm going to say that for myself and for those listening. Now, on the opposite end of that, I'm glad that the employees are made to actually have a vaccination situation. But I would say, are you vaccinated on the most recent vaccination? That is what I would ask for. And I would ask, actually, that people traveling from one country to another be vaccinated as well, because I know that's always changed as well. I know there are some that go to Europe and then back, and Europe has a problem over there. So I will say, kind of like the nurses in the room, right? You want the staff to be taken care of. But again, if you're traveling and you're kind of on an isolated ship, you want to make sure you're safe, right? So those that are actually practicing this and have certain protocols in place to do that, I think is great. But I am against having, especially when they're docked back at home, which is what we had, what he was talking about in 2020 and 2021, because people went back to traveling. Then again, they were like, oh no, outbreak again. The virus needs to get the people off and then tested. So I think more test kits need to be on these cruise ships to be able to say, okay, we need to isolate you away from the other. It's kind of like, okay, remember, Jesse, any episode of Star Trek, you have someone sick, you get them to sick bay, right? And then you hold them there, right?
Exactly, or jettison them out of the ship. Either one.
Yeah, exactly. Off with they. Just get them out of there, right? So there's that. I just know there were cruise ships that were not ahead of it because they honestly, like he said, were unaware of what COVID would do. And so everybody kind of like, right, got scared. But I'm like, people on the land already had coronavirus. But just because you're on a ship, I say monitor. But by keeping everybody on a ship, and then I remember conditions were really bad on certain cruise ships. They didn't have enough supplies, and they're kind of like, it is a disaster. I do like that he said you have the ability to have a refund if you do get sick, so that you don't have to get on that cruise just because you already spent the money, because usually you spend the money ahead of time. So I like that they kind of either put it off to another time, because some people do get coronavirus and they're like, oh no. I've had people that I want to meet with, and like, I can't meet with you because I now have coronavirus. I got sick at the last event I went to, and there's a lot of people that get sick at the last event they went to. So, so be careful out there. Again, safe, stuff that you do. Keep doing that, and just stay safe. That's it. That's all I can say. You want to have fun. You want to live. You want to be ahead of it all, but you gotta stay safe. You gotta stay safe. How can I say it, Jesse? You gotta stay safe along the way. That's it. That's all you gotta do. All right, people? All right, we're gonna take a quick little break. We'll be right back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Here's to your health with Joshua Lane. Ideas you can use to be healthy and stay healthy. The current thinking about beauty, fitness, and longevity. Every Tuesday and Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Wellness talk you can use. Here's to your health with Joshua Lane on KMET, naturally.
We're in the studio with Fred Penny, managing attorney with Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers. Fred, tell us, what makes you the #1 choice for handling personal injury cases?
Most of our firm is made up of former insurance company trial lawyers with extensive experience, handling all types of personal injury matters. We believe that gives us a distinct advantage.
That's Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers, with locations throughout California. For a free consultation, go to pennyandassociates.com or call 1-800-616-4LAW. That's 1-800-616-4LAW.
Join West Coast Business Review with Daryl McCants each Wednesday afternoon at 4 o'clock p.m. Daryl focuses on successful businesses from California's southern border to Canada, including the great border states of Arizona and Nevada. Every week, Daryl provides in-depth discussions and interviews with prominent leaders and innovators that make all of our lives better and more productive. West Coast Business Review with Daryl McCants, Wednesdays at 4 o'clock p.m. right here on Smart Talk Radio. Together We Are Strong is a product brand which stands for unity, equality, and protecting voting rights. Shop now at togetherwearestrong.com for t-shirts, hats, and coffee mugs. All voting rights profits are donated to Rock the Vote, an organization on a mission to empowering young voters. Become an activist without saying a word. Togetherwearestrong.com. Make a difference in America and the world. Shop online at togetherwearestrong.com. Give the gift that helps drive change. Go visit togetherwearestrong.com.
When you want the best performance for your vehicle, think only of Scott's Headers and Mufflers in Beaumont, right off the I-10 and 60 freeways. Check out Scott's complete list of performance products on their website at hdrinfo.com. Scott's Headers and Mufflers can recommend ways for your car or truck to get better gas mileage and cut down on emissions. Need your car or truck to pass smog only? Go to Scott's Headers and Mufflers in Beaumont. Find out all of your questions on vehicle performance by logging on to hdrinfo.com. Scott's Headers and Mufflers in Beaumont, hdrinfo.com.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio KMET 1490 AM. Lots of things happening in the world. Not sure if you saw the latest. It was I don't even know how to say it other than dumbness is abounding in the world. And I don't know if you saw this, Jesse, but it was a situation that happened in downtown LA, where a woman who had there was a situation with her watch from a jewelry store, and evidently the people kind of mugged her and hit her with their vehicle. Yeah, Jesse, it was bad. Making the headlines, and I follow these people, and I like to follow them. It's called Los Angeles Crime Stoppers. Okay, Los Angeles Crime Stoppers actually reposted this, and they're calling it an armed robbery. A woman who drove away from a jewelry store was stopped at an intersection when one of the suspects approached her vehicle and shattered her driver's side window. She left her vehicle, ran into the road, and called for help, but she was followed by other suspects in a Dodge Challenger, which accelerated and hit her as she ran. So they're saying crime doesn't pay, but we do. Make 100% anonymous tips on our website, because evidently there's probably a reward to turn these people in. So go follow them on Instagram. You'll see all the latest crimes there, and these are usually the ones that have some type of reward if you're able to track down the people and give them a clue to their site, which you can actually check out all the people that do these type of things by just visiting them on their website, which is lacrimestoppers.org. Submit a tip, stay 100% anonymous, and there are rewards that you could get without actually saying who you are, which is actually really good. I already kind of put in two. I was looking for a third one, but then I got distracted with other things, including Texas and other things. So I might go back to this. I'm not sure. I'm kind of a little desperate for some money, so I don't know. What do you think, Jesse?
Heck, do it. If it gets criminals off the street, although let's be real, they'll probably be out in a couple days anyway.
You know what? I'm so glad you said that, and I'm sad that we have to say that. Right? I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go to that right now, because it is something, and I've heard a couple people talk about it, and I'm like, Gascon, what Gascon? What is that? Like, is it like, who is this guy, right? And those that have kind of been paying attention, which I'm not going to lie, I haven't been paying attention, all right? And I'll give you kind of a 411 on this, all right? This was a story. I don't know if you saw this, Jesse. Now, I will say she's young, okay? She kind of hurt another girl, and she kind of came off as a little off, all right? 13-year-old Elisiana Valdez had been the victim of a bullying on social media by another 13-year-old girl, right? Now, Elisania said she called me ugly, fat. She talked about my grandma, said my grandma was burning in HE double hockey sticks, and F my dead grandma, right? Okay, and she has those to prove, right, Jesse? So, Cassandra Cisneros told her daughter to ignore it, right? That's the mother. She remembers specifically saying, you're going to have haters. She's jealous, just block her creating account, right? Well, Elisania did that, but says the girl would find her online and continue the torment, right? Continue. Nothing prepared her for what was to come on April 26, 2021. This is last year. And some of you may have seen the video because it's been kind of on the social media circuit where the girl is in the park and all of a sudden they're kind of fighting and the girl takes out a knife from her back pocket and stabs her in front of everybody, including her family. So this happened in Inglewood. The family had gone to Center Park in Inglewood for an afternoon of fun when all of a sudden the girl who had been bullying Elisania was right in front of her and ready for a fight, but not like a normal fight. When you get a knife out of your back pocket and you start stabbing, that's not a normal fight, Jesse. Now, it really got bad for the young girl who had been bullied, and she ended up going to the hospital. She was stabbed 3 times and slashed once on her left arm. The knife punctured her liver, her kidneys, her diaphragm, and her pericardial sac. Those injuries caused internal bleeding. Doctors had to immediately operate on Elisania, who thought she was losing her life, which obviously she was. She says, what hurt the most was not being able to go out with my family again, not being able to see another day. The attacker was arrested and charged with 1 misdemeanor count of assault with a deadly weapon and 1 count of electronic harassment against a minor. Now, Cisneros received an email from the prosecutor stating, we filed appropriate charges in this case, considering George Gascon's new emphasis on restorative justice as guided by the science and data. I don't know what science and data he's going with, but this girl was allowed out on probation, but she's down the street from the rest of the family. Now, she stabbed with a knife this other girl. I would give her at least 1 year of prison time to say, do you really want to do that? And again, it's not an adult, so it's juvenile, right? But letting her go away with this, and I understand in any type of fight, you go, okay, anything can get out of hand. But it got out of hand before it got in person. And it was all over a boy, by the way. Right? Which you could tell this girl, some girls get a little weird with that, I'm not going to lie. I've heard it. For those that know, I've mentored others with their parents. And, I say, hey, if you get bullied, learn to fight back, right? You got to defend yourself. I even recommended that one do jiu-jitsu, but, and she did, and she got tough. But then she beat up other boys, and other boys were afraid of her. But she was always defending somebody else that got bullied. So if you were a friend of her, she would basically take care of you as a friend. But this young girl is the victim of the situation, and as they said, probation is not enough. So I'm kind of at the end of the day, who is this Gascon guy, and what is he doing for people, and what is he doing about? If anything, I think it's a way of getting criminals off easier. And I think that, at the end of the day, people keep quoting it. I'm like, who is this guy? And what is he enabling for criminals? Because we have a criminal high right now, right? And how many times do you say it, Jesse? They're probably back on the streets. Because honestly, they get out so quick, right?
They really do. Sometimes it feels like they're if you have enough money, you can get away with anything.
Yeah.
It just feels like that. If you have money, you can get away with anything. That's what I feel. So
I'm going to bring up this website, and this is his website. Okay. So am I promoting him? No, I don't care for the guy right now because I keep hearing this guy's rules or laws. So I want to see the science, and I want to debate the science here on the station because I have seen nothing get better here in LA. And I keep seeing this guy's name pop up. And I'm like, what is it about this guy I just am not really liking right now? So, look, if you're in LA, you know this guy or you don't know this guy, I think this guy needs a little bit more attention because I've been hearing this, again, left, right, and center. And he's, this is his website, all right? Bring it up for you guys to see here. George Gascon, 43rd Los Angeles District Attorney. I think we need the 44th LA District Attorney. We just got to get this guy out. I don't see anything good happening with this guy. Sign up for updates here. Let's see. I'll scroll down. Let's see. I'll give this guy LA District Attorney. He said, I will make our neighborhood safer. What? How long have you had at it? I have not seen a safer neighborhood. Hold police accountable to the communities they serve. All right. I think police are a little bit too much on one side. Even they're we lock these people up, but they're out the next day. and reform our justice system so it works for everyone. Well, so far it has worked for the criminals 100%. He says, I've reduced violent crime in every leadership position I've held while pioneering reforms to reduce racial disparities and end mass incarceration. Maybe in the past you did, but not anytime soon. It's gotten worse, okay? You probably got areas where, like, it was easier to have. I don't know. I guess he was, oh, here it is. A former beat cop, assistant chief of the LA Police Department, and elected district attorney George Gascon's 40-year career in law enforcement has taken him from the streets of LA. Oh, okay, you were here. To the highest ranks of law enforcement and to the courtroom. No one has more experience making our neighborhood safe and working with our diverse communities. I can almost guarantee that is a lie. And I don't know who voted this guy in, Jesse. I think, if anything, the proof is in the pudding. Nothing has happened good here with this guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you on that. All I see are just people getting robbed and nothing happens. I just see everything getting worse in California. I don't know about you. Obviously, you got smacked around a bit, so
I did.
So it's just like I want to be able to walk around the street and not have to worry about someone backhanding me because I look weird or something like that.
Yeah, I will say, I've seen this name in a few headlines, and I go, what is going on? It's almost like he's enabling criminals. That's all I could say. I have yet to see a headline that says, oh, we are better for whatever he has implemented. So I'm going to do some more research. I've got a little thing against this one, but that's my own opinion. I'm sticking to it. I don't like people getting hurt along the way, and I don't appreciate people being unsafe in their own community, all right? But that's just me. All right, people, we got to take a huge break. We'll see you again tomorrow. Same place, same channel. Bye-bye, everyone. And for those of you tuning in, we're still here. Yay! I know some of you got in a little bit late, like Rosalie. Let's see. We appreciate you. Ellie tuning in as well. Let's see. Ellie says, let's see. Good morning to everyone. Glad that my meetings are moving to 1 p.m. Awesome. Very good. Rosalie says, running in late. Anywho, good morning all. Let's see. And Mario tuning in from Canada. Let's see. Says, poor girl, I wish her well and hope things get better for her. Yeah, I saw the news headline on this young lady, and she got beat up bad, all right? She got beat up bad. And I say, it's one thing when you get beat up. It's another thing when you get knifed, right, by a girl at 13, right? And you don't see it coming. It's just horrible. It's one of those things you don't wish for your child, and you don't ever want to happen ever, right? But, you know, especially, and some girls know this, especially being young, and I never believed it ever until a youth actually said, yeah, these girls are crazy. And it's worse than like Mean Girls, right? There's a whole, I'm like, man, I thought boys were bad. Girls can be massively bad. So this is not a typical cat fight. This is I'm going to put you in the hospital, possibly even kill you. And this girl got almost nothing, whereas I would say she's. You ever see those like those shows where they're like, you know, it's like Borders. If this girl had died, guarantee she would have gotten a good 3 years minimum, right? And some would say even that's not enough, right? They would say, well, you know, she's a youth. If she were my daughter, I'd be like, you are minimum 1 year. You're gonna learn from this. And you're going to do the right thing, right? I don't know who got you the knife. I don't know how you thought that was a good thing. But that's just not a good thing, period, end of story, right? I get defending yourself against, like, somebody in the area, like a guy or something. But to go and attack a girl out of nowhere, there's something just not right. And if you look at the text and social media, I see how her mother kind of said, no, just, you know, don't. And I think her mother kind of regrets it now, but it's like, what would you have done, right? As a mom of a teenage daughter who's 13 getting bullied by another girl, right? You're like, just ignore it. But I would say now, watch your six, be ahead of it, be aware of it. But again, when you see this video footage, you don't really know the full story. And then when you see it, you go, oh, you think they're just girls fighting. And I'm not going to lie, when I saw it, the one that got attacked, I'm like, All right, is the other girl defending herself? What is going on? But everyone that knows blades or switchblades or guns, thankfully she didn't have a gun, but still, a knife at you like that, stabbing you and stabbing your innards and just no. According to this, again, people are wondering what it was over. Again, it was over a boy. Elisania said she had this obsession with me because of the boy across the street. She thought we were dating, which we were not. We were just friends. After the stabbing, the girl posted a message to music and tagged the boy at the center of this feud. This tells you where her mind's at. She said, would you love me more if I killed someone for you? Yeah. If I were that boy, I'd be like, Mom! Like, seriously. Yikes! As Sonia shakes her head, it just makes me think even more that she's crazy, that she needs help, mental help. And I would say yes, 100%. This girl needs help. Now, is there something going on in her world? I would say yes. Had she been maybe abused as a young girl? Yes, I would say that's the first thing I would look at. I would look at the home front of this young girl and say, okay, how does she get this odd, right? Or some would say off, or just mentally unstable, right? So that's the thing. Now, back to Gascon. Gascon, which I almost hate to say because it reminds me of the guy from Beauty and the Beast. But Gascon has been in the news so much that I go, what is going on there? And some have said basically like he's basically enabled, right? Now, look, at the end of the day, we're all held to what is happening here in our area, right? That's called the legal system. Here is a situation. Okay. I'm gonna give you a kind of perspective here. Here is a tip from LA District Attorney Gascon. He gives tips on how to avoid auto thieves amid crime wave. I'm not gonna lie. It's like, why don't you help keep those crime guys in prison? Because they're out the very next day. They really are. And I know it sounds odd, but it's like the bail system has been too off for a while. Because we're hearing people that are hurting people in a really big way, and then they're out like 3 days later on bail. And I'm like, you do know these people are still out there, right? And then, worse yet, they don't even go back to get their arraignment, right? They just skip town, right? Yeah. LA District Attorney George Gascon. This news article came out March 17th, by the way. Released a video with tips on how residents can try to discourage thieves from stealing their cars. I'm telling you, this guy's working for some thieves. All right. He's not. I get it. He's that guy. It comes as he faces a second recall effort in just over a year in office and is struggling to fend off accusations he's soft on criminals and mistreating their victims. I'm not the only one, guys. Gascon says in the video, right there, I would just stop. The fact that he put a video amidst all that is like, dude, like, you're the district attorney. District attorney puts people behind prison. They don't get people off. I think this guy's like a social worker. I think he's going social worker on these guys. You got to put them in prison to work on them. Yeah. I think he got his mind backwards. He's like, no, we got to be kind to these guys. They just don't know what they're doing. You got to put them somewhere. I mean, if they go back home and they get off scot-free and they kind of just, whatever, they're right back on the streets. Okay, you got to put them behind bars. Seriously. In LA County, this is what he said, we're seeing a noticeable increase in auto theft. Shoot, we're seeing robberies in broad daylight, people. He says, my office is working with our law enforcement partners to hold accountable the people involved in this property crime. It's not property crime, it's called auto. He goes on to list some advice for car owners that he says can help thwart would-be thieves. How about this once they get caught? Goodbye. The first is to make sure to always lock your doors. Yeah, no doubt we've been doing that. Something law enforcement agencies around the countries have said for years in an effort to stop people from burglarizing cars for change, phone chargers, and sunglasses. Yeah, that's true. Glad you put a video on that. He continued, 2, do not leave a spare key in your vehicle. I have yet to see that. I mean, I call AAA. Do you call AAA? Yeah, I call AAA. 3, park in a well-lit area. That's true. I'll give you that one. Park in a well-lit area, right? Be in the front, not in the alley. Let's see. And 4, get an anti-theft device for your vehicle. I get that. What happened to LoJack? Does anybody do LoJack anymore? Right? Like tracing things. The Drive and Auto Magazine recommended a simple brake lock device as its best value for anti-theft protection earlier this year. Ooh, that's good. That's good. The Club CL606 starts at $35 on Amazon. Drivers can buy their own wheel lock boot clamps on the site for around $90. Brake lock. Oh. So Gascon concludes in the video, working together, we can keep our community safe. How about the obvious? Just lock them up. Alex Bastien, a special advisor to the District Attorney Gascon, said prosecutors were seeking higher bail amounts for suspected recurring car thieves during the crime wave and also working to bring charges more quickly so that potential repeat offenders would have less time between court appearances. There you go. That's smart. That's called keep them in prison, then get them to court, and then get them committed. Because you got to get them off the streets. People are just, you look, at Walgreens and or CVS, you're not safe. People are going in there with sledgehammers. And then they take a certain amount of product. They get caught. They get out a week later. Those people are mentally unwell, man. They got to be behind bars. He said, we're working with our law enforcement partners and the chiefs of all the various agencies in LA County to help in providing them ways to have upward deviations in bail for repeat offenders, and that includes auto theft. Oh, okay, so there you go. All right, so he's doing something about it. In mid-December, Gascon, because again, people want to recall him, launched a diversion program for juveniles accused of certain felonies, right? Yeah, juvenile, including burglary, robbery, sex assault, and vehicle theft crimes. All right. Bastian said that he did not immediately have a breakdown of how many participants in the diversion program have been accused of car thefts, but the program itself only processed about 20 people a month for the last 3 months in a county with more than 10 million residents. There's something off here. Let's see. Social media. Rosalie says judicial system is corrupt. I will say this. They're hiring weak people. All right. You got to get somebody tough. Look. Let me put it this way. All right. Okay, fine. Gotham City is where we're at. All right, people? We should not be at Gotham City here in LA. I get it. It sounds cool. It sounds like a fun show. Yay, yay, yay. No. All right. It gets bad. It gets worse. It gets worse. 100% when you have people go soft on criminals. You cannot go soft on criminals. You got to be tough. You got to be smart about it, and you got to say at the end of the day, we're going to lock you up. We're going to keep you accountable for what you do this day. There is no more softness. We've gone soft. Maybe during coronavirus, whoever got that guy in at that time really was like, oh, let's be soft. I get it. Everybody was put on lockdown. Now everybody's kind of poor. They're looking for money in any which way that they can get it. And because our financials are off, obviously, and boy, have you got shopping lately? I went to Staples. I looked at headphones for $300. I'm like, you're kidding me, right? $400 even. I'm like, these are headphones. $80, $90 max, right? No, the pricing system is off. It's like we hit 2020. That was normal. Now we hit all of a sudden 2022 and everything's like triple the price. It makes no sense. In some cases, double the price. It just makes no sense. It's like what people's numbers are off. 1 + 1 is 2. But some are saying 1 + 1 is 8. 1 + 1 is 89. 1 + 1 is 68. It's like, I get you want more money, but how do we have more money with more debt? It makes no sense. Like put the logic back in your head, okay? The logic needs to be put back in your body or your head or your system of minds or heads. I don't know what that means. But there you go. That's what you got to do. So do that. Be aware of it. Be ahead of it. And don't be like the people, and I hate to say it, but I'm going to say it. Oh, here we go. Yeah. This is the same guy. I have to bring this up. We talked about this. Even the child molester bragged about light sentence as soft on crime DA faces recall. He's saying this to his father. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna get out. Yeah. When you have like people that are doing these crimes saying, "Don't worry about it. I want to get out." That's never a good thing. Basically, the people are gonna like vote for you, or the people that are like, dude, man, we're having a time of our life out here, hurting people, raping people, and yeah, robbing them. Yeah. So there you go. That's the thing. Oh, he's the author of the controversial California Proposition 47, which downgraded many crimes from felonies to misdemeanors. That's where it started. I knew it. I did not know he was the guy. There it is. That's the problem. That's the problem. That's the problem. 100%. Okay? When you downgrade from felony to misdemeanor, I get when you want your record expunged. I get that. I get that. But maybe there were too many that were off. I don't know. I got to do the research on that. He's a supporter of Proposition 57, which blocked prosecutors from charging some juveniles as adults and shortened prison sentences. Again, back to this girl, though. Okay. Granted, she's 13. So you could get her while she's young and give her minimum 8 months. Minimum 8 months. All right? I'll go for that. All right? But like on probation right after she stabbed the girl and the girl almost died, what would have happened if she would have died? All right? This other girl who stabbed her is lucky she did not die. It could have been worse. And then that would have been her first murder. Right? Yeah. Yeah, okay. I'll go with that. Because at the end of the day, if this girl's 18 and she does that, would you say we should have nipped it in the bud early with her? I would say yes, because it only gets worse from here. Right? She's like, because there's always that little subconscious thought. What are they going to do? Right? And then you got this girl, like, seriously, like, she lives in the area. So I guess some people are trying to raise money so that they can move out of the area. She's the victim. You know who should move out of the area? The person who perpetrated the crime. And just get her more time in prison. Plus get her a health check. There's something off there. She needs help. Now, am I for the child to get help? 100%. All right? 100%. She is a child. All right? 13. She's young. All right? But to have a knife, you know, and then a knife the other girl, it just no. So this guy's a little soft. All right? He's a little soft. He might be grandpa. Well, you don't want grandpa as district attorney. You want grandpa with a you don't want grandpa. You want, hey, I'm Pop. You're gonna do the right thing. We're gonna do it together. All right? You're gonna do the time. I'm gonna put certain things in place so that you're not forgotten in the prison system, but you need help. Okay, period and story. You need that. All right, let's see. Rosalie says, I went through that with my son at the age of 14, gang members, and I stood up and thought, even at the age he's now 34, I went up against the gangs and corrupt police officers. They said I was next. Yeah, green light one. It's okay. When I go to my hometown, I become a little gangster. I have to. You do. It's true. You know what that's like. And, yeah, you just have to say, no, not going to happen. So, yeah, I don't know who the next guy is. I really don't. But they got to just say, look, felonies are felonies, misdemeanors are misdemeanors. Let's just keep it what it is because we have the proof of the pudding. It got worse in just a year and a half. That's the answer. All right. So I don't know about data and science about that. So, science your stuff away from me and just keep our people safe, all right? Because it's getting worse out there. All right, people, I'm out of time. Make it a great day, whatever you do. Remember, have life in your head, and remember, make sense. All right, people. Bye-bye.